This video is going to be centric around popping an older box, still using the same decom exploit in Windows XP. This is a stock install of Windows XP, and basically what we're looking for is how to get tools on a box where we don't really have access to things like curl, wget, netcat, cryptcat, things of that nature. So I'm going to show you two different ways to do that. One of them is going to be, we should be spinning up TFTP, because TFTP and FTP are on most Windows XP or most legacy boxes, and we could use that to get the tools that we're looking for across to the other machine. I wouldn't rely on FTP because FTP requires you to go into a different quote-unquote menu on the command line, and you really can't download from a one-shot line like I'm going to show you. So after we spin up TFTP, we point the TFTP server at a directory where all our tools are. So in this directory, we have some rootkits, we have some EXEs we're going to load. So we're going to pop the box. And then once we get the reverse shell, we're going to validate that we are on the box. And we see it's 2.11 and the 1 subnet. And we see we got tools here, and we know that we have TFTP running. So we're going to create a directory. And then you see there's nothing in the directory. And what we're going to end up doing is running TFTPI, the host, and then we're going to do get, and then we'll say netcat.exe, and you see that it transfers. A lot of times this is going to be an inconvenience to do. So what we could do, and I'll show you what this looks like, is we could create a batch script that resides in the directory that we are downloading from, and you can see that XP installer right there. I'll zoom in on it, and it'll basically download everything in this directory that we have. So we could do same command, and also you can't up or down because it's not really an interactive shell. So we're going to do TFTP and then we'll run the XP installer, and it starts downloading the files that we want to push over to the other box. This can help us in regards to getting tools on the remote host that we may need to do some lateral movement with, conceal our tracks, and everything of that nature. We've loaded curl because we want to be able to fetch files on the internet. We also loaded netcat because we want to set some type of persistence on the box where we could command shovel, and I'll show you how to do that as well. And what command shoveling basically does is we're going to shovel CMD over netcat that we can connect at any time. But again, it's not encrypted, so it's going to come up in any packet captures what we're doing, and it could kind of blow our cover. So this is where rootkit would come into play, where we could kind of hide that traffic from the host itself, but the CM will probably see it because it's not affected by the rootkit. And then once we have all of this set up, the next set of steps will be to do some lateral movement. So I only wanted to do a quick video showing you how to get some tools on the remote box with limited utilities. In the next set of videos, I'm going to show you how to start doing lateral movement and setting these utilities up. When we start the command shell, one of the things that we need to first take into consideration is the version of netcat we have. Some netcat versions don't have the E command, which allows you to shovel. And in this example, I downloaded the proper version. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to take a look at the local box. And we're basically going to set up a netcat listener on port 80. And we're going to press enter. So it's listening on any interface coming in. And if we want to set up persistence, we could push netcat to a startup. And I'll show you how to do that in a different video. But for simplicity reasons, we're going to do this on the command line here. So what we'll set up is netcat, the host that we're looking to connect back to, and I also copied CMD into the directory that we're in, and we're going to type in cmd.exe, and we're going to shovel it. It would help if I put the port in. So now you see the command has been shoveled, and you see on the other terminal where we started netcat as a listener, we have a shell. And if we do pwd, which as lame as Windows is, it's not going to print it, but you see that we're in system32 pawn directory. And if we do ipconfig, it'll spit out that we're on the host that we're on. And then we could go about the system however we see fit. So that's one way to set up persistence, and I'll show you how we can set this up as a startup, but we would need to keep a computer on that this could connect back to. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this video. Hopefully I'll be able to make some videos on a more consistent basis. If you enjoyed the content, please like, share, and subscribe, and also keep an eye out, because like I said, we are going to try to create more videos more frequently on the topics that we have and some of the forensics topics that we've been discussing for a while. Hope to see you there. I'll show you that in another video.